Okay, today we're going to talk about parallelogram properties and how to apply them to algebra. So please make sure that you take out a sheet of loose leaf paper so you can copy down some notes if you chose not to print out these notes. So the first thing we need to do is review our properties of a parallelogram. So the first one is that the opposite sides are parallel. So this is parallel to this, and this side is parallel to this side. So we can say that AB is parallel to CD, and AD is parallel to BC. The second property is that your opposite sides are congruent. So we can say that AD is congruent to CB, and DC is congruent to AB. The third property is that your opposite angles are congruent, which means angle A is the same as angle C. So angle A is congruent to angle C, and angle D is congruent to angle B. The fourth property that you should remember is that consecutive angles are supplementary. Consecutive means next to, which means angle A plus angle B equals, supplementary means adds to 180 degrees. So angle A plus angle B adds to 180. Angle B plus angle C adds up to 180. Angle C plus angle D add up to 180. And angle D plus angle A add up to 180. So if you have two angles that are next to each other, they add up to 180. The next property is that the diagonals bisect each other, which means that they cut each other in half. So if I draw a diagonal DB and I draw a diagonal CA, so if I make a point where the diagonals cross each other or bisect each other, I can say that, and we'll call that E, DE is congruent to EB, and I can say that AE is congruent to EC. So this piece here is congruent to this piece here. And the sixth property that we need to know is that a diagonal creates two congruent triangles. So if I draw this diagonal, I can say that triangle ACD is congruent to triangle CAB. And if I draw this diagonal, I can say that triangle ADB is congruent to triangle CBD. Now, if we take those properties that we just reviewed, we can apply them to algebra. So the first question says, if one angle of a parallelogram measures 55 degrees, find the measures of the other three angles. So the first thing that I would do, because we're talking about a parallelogram, is draw one. You don't have to be an artist. Just draw something and label it A, B, C, and D. Pick one of the angles to be 55, because that's what it tells you. It says find the measures of the other three angles. Well, if angle A is 55, I know that angle C has to be 55 because it's opposite. I also can say that I know that this angle, A, plus angle D, they're next to each other, so they have to add up to 180. So if I do 180 minus 55, I get 125, so angle D is 125. And since B is opposite D, I can say that B is 125. So my other three angles are 125, 55, and 125. If I look at number 2, it says in parallelogram ABCD. I would stop right there and I would make sure that I draw myself a picture. And we're going to label it. So A, B, C, D. It says angle A is 2x minus 20 and angle C is 5x minus 80. It says find the value of angle A. So I want to find angle A. So looking at the picture that I just drew, Angle A and angle C are opposite. So that means that they are congruent. So 2x minus 20 equals 5x minus 80. We're going to move our x's to one side. Make sure when you copy this 20, you take the sign with it. 3x minus 80. We're going to move our numbers to the other side. When I solve, I get that x is equal to 20. Go back and read. They want angle A. So angle A is this. So I really want what 2x minus 20 is. So if I plug in my answer, my x, here I get 40 minus 20, and I do get 20. Again, make sure you go back and read. The other thing that you need to realize when you're labeling a parallelogram or any shape, you have to go in order. So when I labeled this, I went in a clockwise order. If I look at number 3, it says in parallelogram, F, G, H, I. Again, F, G, H, I. I have to go in a circle, either clockwise or counterclockwise when I'm labeling. It says the ratio of angle F to angle G is 2 to 7. When you see the word ratio, your teachers at some point should have said put an X after it. So F is the first one, so F is 2X. G is the second one, so G is 7X. The question says find the measure of angle H. If I look at these two angles, they're next to each other, they're consecutive. So that means that they add up to 180 degrees. I get 9x equals 180. If I divide by 9, I get x is 20 again. I have to go back and read. We want angle H. So if I look at this question, H is across from F, so it's got to be the same. So instead of 2x, it's going to be 2 times 20, which is 40. So angle H is 40 degrees. If I look at number 4, it says in parallelogram math. So again, draw yourself a picture. It says M-A-T-H. It says diagonals AH, so I'm going to draw it, and MT, I'm going to draw that one, intersect at E. Now, if we look at it, it says AE, so from A to E, that's 8x plus 6, and it says EH is 46. The property when you have diagonals in a parallelogram is they bisect each other, which means they cut them in half. So the 8x plus 6 is equal to the 46. If we solve, we get 8x equals 40. If I divide, I get x is 5. Go back and read. It says find the value of x. So we are done. In the last question here, it says given parallelogram Andy, find the measure of all the angles. If I look at what's given to me, I'm given two angles that are next to each other or consecutive. So I know that they have to add up to 180. So I get 5x plus 10 equals 180. I get x equals 34. Now go back and read. The question says find the measure of all the angles. So if x is 34, if I want to find angle A, 2 times 34 plus 10, that's 78. So this one here is 78. 3 times 34, 102. And then to find the missing angles that aren't even labeled, since A is 78, if I go across, D is 78, Since n is 102, if I go across, if I go to the opposite angle, it's also 102. Please make sure you write down any questions and either email me or ask me next time you see me in class.